ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome all the devotees and guests for our Sunday feast program here. We are continuing our series of lectures which is taken from the Bhagavatam 10th canto of the killing of various demons in the land of Vrindavan. So it's an auspicious time now because it's a festival season. We just had Balram Jayanti and we are just looking forward to celebrate Krishna Janmashtami, Prabhupada appearance, and then Radhashtami. So it's festival time. When I was talking with one of the devotees from our IOS, so they're expressing, Prabhuji, abhi to time aa gaya fasting karne ka. Because every festival you have to fast. Balram Jayanti is half day, Janmashtami is full day till night 12 o'clock. Then Prabhupada appearance immediately next day, again fasting. So yes, there has to be some fasting, but there is also feasting. Feasting of Krishna Katha. Is it not? I was hearing one nice terminology from one person. This word bhajan and bhojan. Bhajan and bhojan in Hindi, they look similar when you write. Of course, there is a big gap, Sometimes after bhajan, there is bhojan. But if you see bhajan and bhojan, if you write in Hindi both of this, you will find in bhajan and bhojan, in written form, there is one difference only. They call in Hindi एक मात्रा. भजन और भोजन में एक मात्रा की कमी है कि नहीं? The O part is not there. That's a मात्रा. तो भजन में मात्रा नहीं है, लेकिन भोजन में मात्रा है. So those who are very good in Hindi, they will understand there is two meanings in this. Matra has two meanings. One is the matra, and matra also means restriction. भोजन में मात्रा होनी चाहिए, भजन में मात्रा नहीं होनी चाहिए. So when you do bhajan, when you do Krishna Katha, chanting, hearing, there should not be restriction. It should be unlimited. Kirtaniya sada hari. But when you take prasadam, there should be some restriction. Because if you take too much prasadam, what will happen? Then when bhajan comes, you will sleep. So there has to be some restriction. Of course, when feasting is there, you should feast, but then restriction also has to be there. So bhajan has no restriction, but bhojan has restriction. So here we are in midst of so many festival days. Janmashtami is coming up, and the topic chosen for Sunday feast also is relevant, killing of demons. Maybe for this particular class which we are having today, many previous speakers must have spoken about what each of these demons represent, the anartha. So this whole section has been taken from the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he mentions that the difference between the Leela, the pastime of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan spiritual world, and the Leela and pastime here in Vrindavan, Gokul Dham, in so-called, we can say, situated in Bharat Bhumi. What is the difference between two pastimes? Those are eternal pastimes, is it not? This is also eternal pastime. Here also it's going on. We may not see it, but it's happening. What is the difference between the two? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that both the pastimes are same. The Nitya Leela happening in Golok Dham also happens in Gokul Dham. However, in Gokul Dham there are some more pastimes additionally which may not happen in the Golok Dham. And therefore all those pastimes which are happening only in Gokul Dham on the earth planet are called as Naimittik Leela. Naimittik means they are not Nitya, they are not permanent. They happen only on certain time and places. And the example is given that Krishna's leaving Vrindavan and going to Mathura. This happens only in the earth planet. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Krishna is always there with his associates. Similarly, Krishna and Balaram again coming back to Vrindavan, which is also a very secret story, which is not known to many. It is also temporary. It doesn't happen. In Golok Dham, Krishna never leaves. Apart from this, the demons coming to Vrindavan and Krishna and Balaram killing them, it is also happening only in the material world. There are no demons in spiritual world. Demons are only in material world. Of course, it is not like it may not happen. Like sometimes in spiritual world it may happen so that if Krishna wants to create some sensation, devotees to be dependent on him, he may create a false rumor, Dhenukasura is coming. But Dhenukasura is not there. Why should Dhenukasura be in spiritual world? He is here. But because of that false rumor, what will happen? Everyone becomes excited and they all chant Hare Krishna. They call Krishna as Krishna for help. So that may be a situation which may be created in spiritual world, but it is actually not there. So this is the difference. So when demons are killed, they are killed only on the earth planet, in the material world. And therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions anything happening only in the material world has to have some lessons for the people living in the material world. So each demon who is killed by Krishna and Balaram in Vrindavan, they represent an obstacle for a devotee to advance in spiritual life. We are all aspiring devotees here. And as we go in our spiritual pursuit, our path, there will be obstacles. What are the different obstacles? Different obstacles are our own anarthas or obstacles created by the material world. So, it is mentioned that just like we go on a journey, like for example, if you take a local train, nowadays in our local train, this unique system is there. As soon as the station goes, Agla station. They say Agla station, next station, this station is going to come. So when we start from, let's say, Mira Road to Grant Road, or Virar to Grant Road, by the way, we have a wonderful DVD which is made, you can check out that. Virar to Grant Road fast train. It's a beautiful drama which was put up on the Radha Gopinath Appearance Day. So Virar to Grant Road. Now Virar to Grant Road is not just two stations. In between there are many stations. So let's say someone is going for the first time Grant Road. So how does he understand? He'll be told, बीच में बोरीवली आएगा, फिर अंधेरी भी आने वाला है. बॉम्बे सेंट्रल आ गया, रेडी हो जाओ, फिर ग्रैंड रोड आएगा. So these are different things by which a person can understand that he is progressing. Is it not? Like for example, he sits in Palghar local and from Virar he goes to Grant Road, अंधेरी नहीं है, बोरीवली नहीं है, सफाले आ रहा है, something like that. So you understand something is wrong. So when one travels, these are the benchmarks. So the benchmarks for our progress to Krishna consciousness is what? Ado Shraddha till Prem. So we begin with Ado Shraddha and we reach Krishna Prem. But Ado Shraddha is the first stop. And the second stop is Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anharta Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. So what is Ado Shraddha? Ado Shraddha means initial faith. Like for example, why should a person come here to spend his Sunday time in a temple? Many of you, if you get a phone call now, of course your phone is now hopefully in silent mode. And you pick your phone call and if a friend asks you, कहाँ है रे? You say, मंदिर में. पागल हो गया क्या? मंदिर में क्या कर रहा है? This is the response. मंदिर में क्या कर रहा है? If you say movie theater में, अच्छा कौन सा मूवी देख रहे हैं? अकेले गया, मुझे लेके नहीं गया. मंदिर में पूछेगा नहीं कि मुझे लेके क्यों नहीं गया? So odd thing. But we have all come to temple because there is some shraddha, some faith. अच्छा है यहाँ पर. Like one person came and said, मंदिर में बहुत शांति मिलती है. So I told him, बाहर क्या है फिर? अशांति है. फिर रेगुलर क्यों नहीं आते? आना चाहिए ना. शांति मिलना है तो रेगुलर आना चाहिए. So you come here, we all come here for certain thing which we get, reciprocation. We see Krishna's beautiful deities, we hear beautiful kirtan, lectures, prasadam, association of devotees. So we like, so we want to come again and again. Sometimes we miss coming to temple, but we always earn. Let's go once more. So our initial faith brings us to temple. Then that faith leads us to association of devotees. Now you come to temple, you can't miss association of devotees. Is it not? As soon as you come very close to temple, even Grand Road station, you have to meet one devotee on Sunday, carrying a bead bag. And then maybe you share one same taxi or you go walking together to temple. कैसा चल रहा है? Maybe new people, you don't know him. Hare Krishna, आप कहाँ से? And then you make devotee friends while walking on the road, coming to temple. So sadhu sangha. Then you come here, associate with so many devotees. And sadhu sangha happens, then what happens sadhu sangha? You see, everyone is having bead bag. अरे मेरे पास bead bag नहीं है. So immediately you go on to Narayan stall and take a bead bag. And everyone chanting. So you think, let me also use this bead bag and start chanting. And people ask, अरे chanting करते हैं, कितना माला करते हैं? Then you thought, माला भी करना चाहिए, गिनना चाहिए क्या? Then in this way, bhajan kriya starts. You start doing chanting. And then after some time you chant 4 rounds and you tell some devotee, मैं 4 माला जप कर रहा हूँ. Then immediately, very nice, very nice. जन्माष्टमी आ रहा है, 16 माला चालू करो. अच्छा दिन है. So bhajan kriya increases. Now as soon as you start chanting, what happens? There are many things in our life which are very bad, which we are not able to give up. But as soon as you start chanting and associating with devotees, we could give up those things. Is it not? Like for example, 4 principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. And many devotees here, they also have no tea, no coffee, no onion and no garlic. Now I know many devotees, they were addicted to tea so much that without tea they cannot live. Really. From morning till evening, minimum 15-20 cups of tea they would take. And they would call it energy booster. And then they became devotees. So difficult. If you tell any person outside that you have to give up tea, they will never come to Hare Krishna temple. Like many times when I travel, I meet people, strange people who are, they must have come. बोला हरे कृष्णा अच्छा है लेकिन आप ऑनियन गार्लिक क्यों नहीं खाते? So I tell them that आपके लिए कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आप आइए, आप खाइए, लेकिन आइए भी. Because once you आइए, then automatically the taste will go away. When you take Krishna Prasadam here, do you miss onion garlic there? You never miss. That's the point. Prasadam is so tasty. It will forget. It will make you forget. So when you chant Hare Krishna regularly, associated with devotees, automatically all those hindrances go away very easily. You don't make an extra endeavor. There are many devotees who are addicted to tea. They give up tea very easily. Very easily they give up tea. And they never wrote down in the diary, on this day I give up my tea. Because you write in diary something which is very memorable. Is it not? Tea was memorable for initially, but when you became a devotee, it was not memorable. तो क्या हो गया? छोड़ दिया. कभी छोड़ दिया पता नहीं. Anartha nivritti means giving up bad things. Anartha. Artha means something value. Artha. Arthadam. Value. Anartha means of no value. So all that which is not valuable in our life slowly goes away. So when we reach Anartha nivritti stage, then we have to remove all that is not valuable in our life. But the problem is, there is an ocean of all anarthas and not valuable thing in our life. Therefore it takes long time to remove that. It's not easy. Therefore it is mentioned, Anartha nivritti is a long stage. And therefore it takes time. It's not easy. But you will have to continue. Like for example, if you are traveling from Mumbai to let's say Kolhapur, it's a long time. You know, समय लगने वाला है. It's not like traveling from Mumbai to Churchgate. It's like Mumbai to Kolhapur. Long time. So accordingly, Anartha nivritti is also a long journey. Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, in fact, Anartha nivritti is like going on a hill, or sadhana bhakti is like going on a hill. Have you any time driven a cycle on a hill? What happens? It's very easy. It's very tough. You cannot sit on the seat also. You have to stand up and paddle. And then you have to you are gasping for breath because it's going so high. So Anartha nivritti is like going high. And then you are tired, you are pushing, doing all kinds of things to go high. And once you reach on the top, that means Anartha nivritti is over. And then when you come down, what happens? When you come down, you don't paddle also. You just hold the handle. And the cycle automatically goes down. So as soon as Anartha nivritti is done, then what happens? Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prema are following very fast. But this middle stage of Anartha nivritti has to go. And therefore our acharyas have spent time to speak on more on Anartha nivritti because this is the maximum time where we are spending our life as devotees. And therefore every devotee in Vrindavan who was killed represents an obstacle which we have to deal with. And how to deal with is also important. The way Krishna or Balaram killed that demon is a solution for dealing with that obstacle. So with that introduction, we will begin with our talk this afternoon on killing of Dhenukasur. So Balaram Jayanti just over, and this is a time when Balaramji killed this demon Dhenukasur. So one time Srila Prabhupada, he was in America in Los Angeles temple. And in Los Angeles temple, it's a beautiful temple there, and they had a small garden. So when Prabhupada stayed in Los Angeles temple, every day in the evening he would come to the garden, sit there, many devotees would sit around him, and he would ask devotees to read from the Krishna book. So one of Prabhupada's personal assistant was Shrutakirti Prabhu. So one day he opened the Krishna book and he was reading this story of Lord Balaram killing Dvivida gorilla. So when he was reading, the chapter began with how Dvivida gorilla was creating disturbance. So he read from the Krishna book that Dvivida gorilla came to the created disturbance in all the neighborhood where all the great sages and rishis and munis stayed. And then he started mentioning what happened, what are the disturbances gorilla Dvivida created. So he was reading the book and he was mentioning, while reading, he was saying that Dvivida gorilla went to the sage's ashram and he destroyed their garden and orchards. As soon as he said that, Prabhupada chuckled, Prabhupada smiled. Prabhupada was enjoying that a gorilla, a monkey has come. Like sometimes what may happen, a monkey may come and disturb your neighborhood or your own house. But after the whole thing is over, ultimately when you say laughingly, Bandar aaya tha, sab tod ke chale gaya. Because when a monkey comes, it's a disturbance, but still it's like a laughter, monkey came, monkey ne aisa kar diya. So Prabhupada was thinking of how monkey is coming and disturbing all the sadhus and rishis in the Muni ashram. So Prabhupada was smiling. And later then he mentioned that they were going and destroying all the hermitages. So Prabhupada was laughing more. And then finally he mentioned that the Dvivida gorilla was such a rascal, he went and passed stool urine in the yagya. And Prabhupada was so much enthralled, Prabhupada was laughing, and he is whacking his lap also. So Shrutakirti Prabhu was amazed at how Prabhupada excited. And then he went on to speak this pastime of Krishna, how Dvivida gorilla came and challenged Balramji, and Balramji had a kind of a match. Not a cricket match, something like that. He was throwing some balls in front of trees and mountains, and Balramji was having his musal and he was hitting the shots. So all that got over and Balramji killed Dvivida. So Prabhupada all the time smiling and laughing. And the story got over. The next day again came, and next day evening again Shrutakirti Prabhu came, and he was thinking maybe Prabhupada likes the story of Krishna or Balaram killing a demon. So he thought, so Prabhupada said, okay, read now. So he was opening and he was trying to find out which story where there's a demon being killed. And he was kind of browsing the pages. And Prabhupada said, what happened? Read. Prabhupada, I am looking for a story where it is good story. Prabhupada said, no. Prabhupada said, Krishna book is all good. Prabhupada said, sweet. You have taken sweet? Sweet is sweet. Where? Front, back. Where? Do you think about when you eat a laddu? Kahan se khao main? You just eat because it's sweet. Prabhupada said, Krishna Leela is sweet. Wherever you start, it is sweet. So don't distinguish this Leela from that Leela. Just start. So then understood. It's not like Prabhupada enjoyed only Krishna killing demons. Prabhupada enjoyed everything in Krishna because Krishna is madhuram. Krishna is very sweet, like that. So there are beautiful pastimes of Krishna. I'll tell you a pastime from Nandagaon. It's a beautiful place where Krishna and Balaram stayed with Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda and Rohini. So this is a small story. It's relevant now. It is not some past story. It's a current story. We have one devotee there. We have one famous one devotee who stays there, Ramesh Chandra Goswami, who's born in that whole in that lineage of devotees who are worshipping the beautiful temple there. So he happened to come visits Mumbai regularly. So when he came here, he was mentioning about how in the morning there in Nandagaon temple of Krishna Balaram there, they offer a special laddu to Krishna Balaram. They call it Banta Bhog. It is similar to something like Besan ka laddu, just like we have here, Besan laddu. So today when you take Besan laddu, you remember Banta Bhog. So Banta Bhog laddu is there. So he mentions that he gets an opportunity to cook that laddu. And why that laddu is cooked? Because it's a place where Krishna and his friends, they're all there, and they like to eat laddus. So in the altar there is Krishna and Balaram, there is also Sridama, there is also Madhumangal. And next to Madhumangal there is a big cupboard. In that cupboard there is full of all his Bantavog laddus. So every morning they cook it and store it. And maybe the next day they distribute at Prasad. And new Bantavog is cooked and kept like that. Similar, something like that. So when he came here, he was told, why don't you cook this Bantavog here in Mumbai? So with same ingredients, he cooked Bantavog here. But it did not come similar to what is offered in Nandagaon. Same person cooking there and cooking here with same ingredients, yet it is not coming. Why? So then he mentioned, you know why? Because there Mother Yashoda is there. Here Mother Yashoda is not there. So it is not that I am cooking, he mentioned. It is Mother Yashoda is cooking, and therefore that element of flavor of Vatsalya Ras is there in that laddu. Therefore it has a special taste, which may not be here. So this is how we can see Vrindavan is so special. So Nandagaon is a place where Lord Krishna stayed for a long, long time. It is mentioned that there are different aspects of Krishna's Leela based on his age. So from 1 to 5 it is called as Kaumara Leela. From 6 to 10 is called as Poganda Leela. So today we will be discussing on how Krishna is entering from Kaumara Leela to Poganda Leela. So Krishna was from 1 to 4 in Kaumara Leela, and because he was a small child, he was not allowed to go very far. His Mother Yashoda would tell Krishna Balaram, well, you are a small child, you can go out, but you should be in vicinity of this place Nandagaon. Anywhere you go, I should be able to see you from top of Nandagaon. You should in my range. You cannot go out of my range. And because Krishna was small, he was given in charge of small calves, Bachade. So Krishna and Balaram would go in the morning, and by afternoon they would come back. So that was the regular thing they did. So this was till 4 years. Now when they change over to 5 years and above, so all the cowherd men, they were thinking that now there has to be promotion to Krishna and Balaram, because now they have come to Poganda age. So by this time the bodies had grown little more, and they decided, okay, let us promote Krishna and Balaram to take care of cows. Now if someone has to take care of cows, the most important is the cows have to go long, long distance to graze. They can't be grazing here only. So they give a chance, okay, Krishna and Balaram, now you can go long distance. So now Krishna and Balaram are for the first time very happy because they are getting chance to go outside range of Mother Yashoda, where they could go actually in Braj. Now only limited range. If they have to go somewhere, their parents have to accompany them. But now they can go away, and they can be alone very far away, and they can choose wherever they want to go. So they had huge space to cover. So the next day they were thinking of going, and Yashoda was making beautiful chappals for Krishna and Balaram. Krishna asked, what is this chappal all about? Hey, you are going tomorrow to roam around in Vrindavan, Braj. So what will happen? There is a lot of thorns, there are a lot of stones, pebbles. They may hurt your feet. So therefore I am making chappal. So Krishna said, if you are making chappal for me, you have to make chappal for all the cows also, because they are going to come with me. And how many cows Nanda Maharaj had got? 20? 25? At least 9 lakh. Even if they have to make for 1 lakh, was it easy? They can't make. So Yashoda said, I can't make so much. So I will also not pay. And once Krishna decides, then no one can push him. So then all the cows, they came to know that Krishna is going to come tomorrow with us for the first day, but he is not going to wear any sleep chappals. So the cows became concerned because they are also in Vatsalya Ras. So that particular night, all the cows, they left the cow shed, they went all over Braj, and wherever there are thorns, wherever the pebbles and stone, they went and just mashed those pebbles with their feet. And everywhere there was nothing but very thin, fine sand. So that Krishna can walk very easily. There can be no pebble, no thorns. So they came back again, and they were happy in the cow shed. And the next day morning, Krishna and Balaram were about to leave. So that was the planning. So the day when Krishna took first time the cows is today celebrated, even today in the month of Kartika, as Gopashtami. That is the day where Krishna took cows. So the next day came and Krishna and Balaram began their journey with their cows. Now Krishna and Balaram, when they began the journey, it is mentioned, because now they had grown up, their lotus feet also had grown up. Previously their lotus feet was very small, and if you see Krishna and Balaram, their lotus feet has special marks. These marks are not there in an ordinary human being. Someone may claim today that I am God. You tell him, lift your feet and check whether marks are there. You won't be there. Krishna and Balaram have special marks. But because the feet was very small, those marks were not seen. But now, on the first day of Gopashtami, when they walked, on that beautiful sand of Vrindavan, their footprints were seen. And everywhere there was like decorations, Just imagine Krishna's footprints, Balaram footprints are everywhere. It's like, whole Brajbhumi was fully decorated with those footprints. So that was a special thing which happened on the day of Gopashtami. Krishna and Balaram footprints were imprinted on the sand of Vrindavan. And Krishna and Balaram went. And because they were going for the first time out alone, they were so happy to see the beauty of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is very beautiful. And it is mentioned, Krishna was telling to Balaramji, just see Vrindavan. This Vrindavan has potency to satisfy all our five senses. And Krishna was telling that how, just see, by your eyes you see Vrindavan, from your eyes you can get happiness, just by seeing Vrindavan. The beauty of Vrindavan will enthrall our eyes. I remember one time I was traveling on an advance party to our Kartik Yatra, and we had our Dham Sevaks, the devotees who take us all places. And we also had Vishwarup Prabhu with us. So Vishwarup Prabhu is a very wonderful guide of Vrindavan. You must have experienced that. So what happened, when we were traveling from, it usually happens, you may also agree with me, that when we travel to, let's say, to some holy place, and we had a good time there, we had nice lecture, kirtan, and then we are again going back to our lodges, our places in the bus, maximum time devotees take rest in the bus. As soon as they sit on a seat, they go to sleep. Why? Because they are tired, walking and so much. So me also was taking rest in the vehicle. He woke me up, said, "Hey Baba, see this Vrindavan. You're going to miss this Vrindavan later." And he used the word Niharo. Niharo means see, so beautiful Vrindavan is there. Dekho ne Niharo. So he said, see this Vrindavan. 10 days later after this, you will be in Bombay. Wow, क्या निहारेंगे हम बॉम्बे में? Building, local train, people in local train with sad faces, our boss, our colleagues, and this heavy traffic pollution. He said, right now time is there. I said, Prabhuji, I am very tired. He said, okay, that's okay, you can sleep in Bombay. Don't sleep now. You see Vrindavan, because your eyes will get purified just by seeing Vrindavan. And then immediately we told all Dham Sevaks that no one should sleep, even in sleep should wake each other at home. And everyone should wake up each other by not saying, hey, get up. No, say, Niharo. So when we go to Vrindavan or we go to any holy Dham, we get chance to see from our eyes the beauty. We should not miss that beauty. Because from the eyes, when we see the beauty of Dham, our eyes get purified, our eyes get manoranjan, our eyes get happiness, ananda. So like that. So the eye sensation is purified by seeing Vrindavan. So Krishna says that just the Vrindavan, it purifies the eyesight. And Krishna says, just hear the beautiful sound. And immediately Krishna makes everyone hear the beautiful sound of the humming of the bumblebees. The bumblebees are coming and they are making beautiful sound. And Krishna says, can you hear that? Then there's a beautiful parrot, or there's a beautiful cuckoo bird which is making sound. So hear that sound, That sound will enhance the happiness of the ears. And then also sounds of sometimes animals. And then Krishna says, what about touch sensation? The air, the wind which blows over Vrindavan, when it blows over Vrindavan, it goes through various forests of Vrindavan, which is full of all beautiful trees. So it passes over the forest and then it passes over a big sarovar, a lake. What happens? The air becomes very cool, and the cool air touches the skin and the skin gets purified. Like that. And then the same air, when it is passing over a lake, it carries the moisture of the lake. And the moisture of the lake comes and hits us and we feel fresh up. Sometimes we can keep our mouth open and all the freshen up, all the moisture goes inside. We don't feel thirsty also. Is that not? Like in practical experience, many of you may feel what Prabhuji is saying, samajh mein nahi aa raha hai kuch. Because we stay in Mumbai, you know. In Mumbai we don't have this. मुंबई हवा चलती है तो एक ही चीज़ आता है, कुछ दुर्गंधी आती है उसमें, है कि नहीं? सो जस्ट टू मेक यू रिलेट, लेट्स इन समर टाइम, गर्मी का मौसम है, बहुत पसीना छूट रहा है, एंड यू ड्रिंकिंग वाटर 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 ओनली वाटर, एंड देन यू इमीडिएटली कम इनटू दिस ब्यूटीफुल टेम्पल हॉल which is the AC hall, and next 2 hours you sit here, you don't feel like drinking water. Why? Because the AC air is full of moisture. So it touches you, you don't feel like drinking water because you're drinking water through your pores. Now we can all relate, am I right? So the wind blowing on Vrindavan over lake is also like that. So it refreshes and it gives a beautiful happiness, it gives to all the different senses. So by the air, the touch sensation is purified. By air, what happens? One feels no quenching of thirst, it quenches the thirst, the mouth is freshened up, and the same air also carries beautiful fragrance of flowers, beautiful fragrance of flowers. So you smell. And then Krishna says, this is how the 5 senses get fully all kinds of happiness just by being in Vrindavan. Then now Krishna started glorifying Balaramji. Why? Because Krishna knew today is Balaramji's day. It was not his birthday, but it was his day. Why? We'll come to know. So Krishna started saying, just see this beautiful tree. This beautiful tree is so huge, but it's bending down. You know why it is bending down? Krishna tells Balaram, they are welcoming you. And all that fruit and flower which you can see hanging, they are offering it to you. So because you have come for the first time like this alone outside, so they are welcoming you. Welcome Balaramji. And you see all the deer, all the peacock, they are waiting, they are seeing you and they are welcoming you. And they are offering their obeisances. And you can see this bumblebee, he is singing. This bumblebee is singing your glories, Balaramji. Maybe in his last time he was your devotee, some sage, some rishi, some muni. Now he has taken birth as a bumblebee in Vrindavan and is singing all the beautiful Vedic mantras, glorifying you. And then he says, do you see that beautiful peacock? The peacock is dancing just to glorify you. And just see the deer is actually glancing on your lotus feet. And the cuckoo is chanting Vedic mantras. So in this way, Krishna was aptly glorifying Balaram. And then while walking like this, on the banks of Yamuna, finally Krishna and Balaram reached the mountain of Govardhan. So in Govardhan, Krishna said, let's play here. So when they reached Govardhan, Krishna and Balaram started imitating all the animals and all the birds there. So when a bumblebee came and he was doing all that sound, Krishna and Balaram exactly imitated the sound of bumblebee. And then a parrot came, and the parrot was calling out. Krishna and Balaram imitated the sound of parrot exactly. And then a cuckoo came, and cuckoo started singing, and Krishna and Balaram imitated the singing of cuckoo aptly. In this way, whatever animals would come, Krishna and Balaram would imitate exactly like that. I remember one time we were in Vrindavan Yatra many years back, and Radhanath Swami was speaking this pastime, and he was asking, so how was the whole thing, so he made every devotee imitate the sound also. Sound of bumblebee, sound of parrot, sound of cuckoo. Then he finally said monkeys also came, and they also made some sound. And then devotees made some sound of monkeys. And Maharaj said, this is rightly made, exact sound. He said all all devotees in Yatra, all other sounds they could not imitate, but this sound was properly imitated. And there must be some connection, he mentioned. So when Krishna was imitating and Balaram was imitating, everyone was laughing. Everyone was enjoying. And then one peacock came. And Krishna said, this peacock does not know how to dance. I will dance. And then Krishna danced. But Krishna danced in such a way to make everyone laugh. And when Balaramji laughed, he laughed and he fell down on the ground. He laughed so much because Krishna actually did not properly dance like a peacock, but he just kind of imitated just to make everyone laugh. After some time, Balaramji became tired and he was lying on the ground. So Krishna called all the cowherd boys, come, let's serve Balaramji. So one boy came and he took Balaramji's beautiful head on his lap. And Krishna started massaging Balaram's lotus feet. After massaging lotus feet of Balaram, he thought maybe Balaramji needs some fan. So he went around, collected some branches of a tree, put some leaves, made a beautiful natural fan and started fanning Balaramji. In this way, Krishna was serving Balaramji. And Balaramji was very happy. So he was massaging Balaramji, he was putting chamar, fan on Balaramji. And finally then he bought a beautiful, in a cup of leaf, he got Yamuna water and gave it to Balaramji. You drink. So Balaramji drank and he felt refreshed. Then he got up. And again the game began. The game began, and you may ask, what's this going on? Where is Dhenukasura is not coming so far? This is all in the same chapter of Dhenukasura. Therefore we are discussing. We are creating appetite. Before you eat something, there has to be some appetizer. So all this game is an appetizer for whom? For Krishna and Balaram. I'll tell you why. Now what happened is, the game began and this time again they imitated animals and now Krishna became tired. And Krishna was lying down. And Balaram said, let's serve Krishna. And Krishna's lotus head was taken on the lap and Balaramji massaged Krishna's feet. So this was the reciprocation between Krishna and Balaram. They were good friends, but their friendship was based on seva. So I was hearing a lecture of Giriraj Maharaj. He was mentioning that when we become devotees, we become friends. But our friendship should have basis with seva, service. Not some gossip, not some pulling each other's leg, just for name's sake. In the outside world, your friendship means, sitting together and doing nothing. So we have so many friends. We have friendship day, we have Facebook friends and this friends and that friends. No use of those friends. But real friendship is centered around service. So Krishna and Balaram, they are friends and their friendship is based on service. Krishna was serving Balaramji and Balaramji is serving Krishna. So in this way, the beautiful game progressed. Now, what happened is, they were playing for quite a long time. Some cowherd boys, they are feeling hungry. They are feeling hungry. Now what would happen is, in Krishna Leela also, when the game would go for a long time, many times Krishna's friend would forget about eating also. So, eating has to take place. There has to be a lunch period. That time Krishna would arrange some demon to come. So demon would come, Krishna would defeat the demon, kill the demon. And after killing the demon, Krishna would remember, oh, there is lunch box also available. And everyone said, we are hungry. Then they would take food. So demon would come exactly in time for giving a lunch break. So now this is the time when Sridhama, Subal, Stoka Krishna, they all come to Krishna and say, we have been playing for a long time, but now we are hungry. Now we are hungry. And for your kind information, Krishna, very close by from Govardhan here, there is a beautiful forest. The name of the forest is called as Talwan forest. And this Talwan forest is especially known for very tasty, succulent fruits. So everyone is so happy, they start clapping. Wow, very good. And not just fruits, there are different varieties of fruits, not just one fruit, different varieties. And all these fruits are hanging on a tree, fully ripe. In fact, some of the ripe fruits have fallen down on the ground, and from the ground you can pick it up and eat it. So exciting. Forest with trees, with fruits, with ripe fruits. And they mentioned, however, no one is eating that fruit. So Krishna asked, why? And then they mentioned, because in that forest there is one demon who has conquered that forest. That forest is under his control, and his name is Dhenuka. Krishna Balaram asked, who is this Dhenuka? And the friends replied, he is an ass, Gada. As soon as Krishna Balaram heard the word Gada, they started laughing, like you are laughing now. But they are laughing loudly. So they were laughing. Actually, while laughing, they fell down. हंस के गिर गए वो. And they were saying, आतंक मचाया तो किसने मचाया? गधे ने. Someone is causing fear, and that too an ass, a donkey. Then immediately the friend said, oh, he's not an ordinary donkey, he's a very powerful donkey. He is an associate of Kamsa. And you know, why he has come and conquered Talvan? Because Talvan means the place where there is abundance of trees of Tal. Tal may also call Tad ka jhad. And why they have conquered Tad ka jhad tree and Talvan? Because they like what? To drink. And they get tadi from Tad. I think so. The origin of Tadi Madi Vikri Kendra was in Talvan only. And this Dhenukasur, he is always drunk. हमेशा 7वें आसमान में होता है वो, पी के, तुन में है वो. And you know what? He drinks, and he also supplies fresh tadi to Kamsa also. So he is also happy. So now we have to go there. But you know what? This Dhenukasur is also a big killer and murderer. Anyone who goes there, he kills him and eats him. Whether it's a human being or an animal or a bird. Anyone. In fact, a bird will not even pass over Talvan forest in a fear of Dhenukasur. So, indirectly they were kind of telling Krishna, Krishna, you have killed Putana, you have killed Shakatasur, Bakasur, Aghasur. Oh, okay. Now, this new one has come. You have to take care of him also, Dhenukasur. So they kind of encouraging. They were creating a kind of appetizer for Krishna to go and fight with Dhenukasur. And then immediately said, can you smell that beautiful aroma which is coming? That is aroma of fruit of Talvan. It's very close by. Let's go there. And immediately they all decided to go. Now, was it that the coward friends of Krishna were feeling hungry and they were telling Krishna, come, you serve us? No. They wanted to serve Krishna. They were thinking, this Vrindavan Braj is Krishna's. यहाँ जो भी है भगवान का है. इतने फल है, इतने वृक्ष है जिसमें फल पड़े हैं बड़े बड़े. It has to be offered to Krishna and Balaram, but now who is taking it? Dhenukasur. So they wanted Krishna to kill that Dhenukasur and take the fruits for himself. And of course, when Krishna is offered fruits, what happened? And devotees also get prasad. So both is happening. Krishna and at 12:30 Krishna takes 12 o'clock Krishna takes bhoga, and 12:30 के बाद में 3 o'clock तक prasadam. So in this way, we can see that they were actually pushing Krishna to enjoy. So now Krishna decided, let us go to which place? Talvan. And Krishna was thinking in his mind, but today is whose day? Balaramji. Why today is Balaramji's day? Because Krishna was knowing that he cannot kill Dhenukasur. The reason was, Krishna remembered previous incarnation when he came as Narsingadev. He had given a benediction to Prahlad that your whole family is very glorious and henceforth in future I will never kill any of your family member. Now what happened is, Prahlad's son was Bali, and Bali's son was one typical character named Sahasik. Now this Sahasik was also a demon, but he was very proud demon. Because he had so much of wealth and riches and opulence, he became very proud of his strength. One day he decided to go and enjoy with beautiful girls in a place where he should not go. He decided to go and have an enjoyment party. He went to a very holy place, a holy hill, Parvat ke Shikhar ke niche. And there they were all dancing. One guy, Sahasik, dancing with 10,000 ladies. Maybe they had DJ party also, all that thing, So they were dancing and big sound, boom, boom, like that, And I was thinking that if he has to go and enjoy it, take a place which is good for enjoyment, Maybe go to Lonavala or Kandal, like that, Go to a holy Parvat, Why go there, No one go to enjoy all these things in Vrindavan or Mayapur, They'll go to all kind of useless places. But he went because proud, he thought everything is mine. Just on the other side of Parvat was Durvasa Muni doing meditation. Can you imagine? Sometimes you're chanting Hare Krishna and all that boom boom sound comes, what happens? You become angry. What is this? Is the time to, I'm chanting and disturbing. Now, because you are not having power, so you can't do anything. All you can do is you close your windows, put earplugs and keep chanting. But Durvasa Muni was not like that. Durvasa Muni is thinking, what is this film music coming here, in my holy place? So he climbed the Parvat and he saw from top. And this crazy guy, he's dancing alone, one person dancing with so many ladies. So Durvasa Muni became so angry, he called him, you fool, you stupid. Now when Durvasa Muni spoke, his voice rumbled over the DJ. So immediately they could hear that sound and the DJ was stopped and then thought, oh, what's happening? Oh, Durvasa Muni, you fool, you don't have any brain. You don't know where to do what things. Is this a place to do all that thing in his holy place? Because you are stupid, you have no brain, you are dull, you are like a donkey. Become a donkey. So immediately he was about to become a donkey. He became a donkey. Can you imagine? Suddenly in front with 10,000 girls, ladies, he becomes a donkey. So he became a donkey and he said, oh, please forgive me, please convert me back to normal person. He said, I can't do it. I already given curse. Make some changes. Okay. Because you have done such a big activity, you will get benefit. But first you have to go through an intense period. So 4 lakh years only. You remain a donkey. But after that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will deliver you and then you'll go back to Godhead. So this is how when we come across sometimes punishment or some chastisement from senior devotees, it is good for us. Like one time one devotee, one Prabhupada disciple, he was chastised by Srila Prabhupada. So he was feeling very heavy. Prabhupada, bahut gali diya aaj mere ko. So he went later to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, how should a disciple take when his spiritual master chastises him? Prabhupada said he should be very happy. Why, Prabhupada? Because Brahmand Brahmite Kono Bhagyavanji Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. In the whole Brahmand you are moving around and you get a spiritual master and that spiritual master sees a defect in you and chastises you to change and become better devotee. You should be happy. You should be ecstatic. He said, okay. So that is how we look when chastisement of a senior devotee or a great Vaishnava. What happens? Behind the chastisement there is always a good thing. So Sahasik, just imagine, if you had not been Dhenukasur, you have continued like a demon. How many years, I don't know. Lifetimes maybe. But now, at least after 4 lakh years, he got a chance. So then what happened? Because he was Sahasik, who became Dhenukasur, and he is in the family of whom? Prahlad Maharaj. And Narasimha said, I cannot kill him. So Krishna thought, I cannot kill him. So who can kill him? Someone has to kill him. Balramji will kill him. And Krishna was thinking, till now I am only killing all the demons. Our Balramji has not opened his account, So Balramji ka bhi account khul jayega aaj. So immediately that time Krishna indicated Balramji, let's go to Talwan. And then Krishna and Balram reached Talwan. And they're laughing when they're going to Talwan. And why they're laughing, They were laughing that we are going to meet a donkey. Not just donkey, a powerful donkey. And they were just laughing at the proposal that they're going to meet a donkey, face a donkey and a powerful donkey. So finally they reached Talwan, they entered Talwan. It was very silent because no one comes there. And they saw really beautiful tal trees laden with tal fruits, tat gola. So Balramji went and he shook one tree. And all the tat gola fell down, everything. It was like rains of tat gola. And Balramji said, wow. And then he went to another tree and started shaking. Balramji had strength, he could shake a tat gola tree. Now we go and shake tat gola tree, we only shake. Tree will not shake. So he shook the tat gola tree and all the tat gola fell down. So tat gola was falling down, thar. That sound reached Dhenukasura. Now, Dhenukasura, as you know, he was already full. I mean, he was sleeping because he had taken, I don't know, he was full tight or half tight. But he was, and he heard that sound. He became very angry. He got up, and then he came running to see who's the one. You know? So from very far he saw that this Balaram, this boy, is shaking the tree. He became so angry, he started running. And when Dhenukasura was running, because he was a great powerful demon, there was an earthquake tremor in the whole of Talwan. Everything was shaking. And everyone became afraid, what's happening? And then he came running, he saw Balramji, he came running full speed, then he stopped. Then he turned around, and with his two legs behind, he lifted those two legs and he hit on Balramji's chest. So when he hit on Balramji's chest, what happened? Nothing happened to Balramji, and he ran away. He thought, kaam ho gaya apna. Now, one amazing thing is the peculiar feature of a donkey. We are not against donkey, by the way, but because this is a pastime, we have to sometimes glorify in a negative way. So, now, why is called a foolish an ass? Because just imagine he came running all the way and then he stopped. I'll give an example, which you may easily relate also. Let's say there's a cricket match going on. I'm not saying you should watch cricket match, but you have a previous experience. So, a bowler is there. He is running right from the boundary line. And why is running? So that he can use the pace to give the pace to the ball. Now he comes running all the way from boundary line, and he comes near umpire, he stops, and then he bowls spin. Now what will happen? You'll think, itna bhaga ke fir wo? But that is foolishness. So he is running all the way to get momentum, and as he comes in near Balramji, he stops, turns around, and then he hits. So he goes away, then he turns around and sees nothing happened to Balramji. So he becomes more angry. Ye kya ho gaya? Because his track record is always that one hit is enough. But Balramji is like, standing, nothing happened, and Balram is taking more trees. So he becomes more angry now. And then what happens is, the next time he comes, it is mentioned, Balramji catches his hind legs, whirls him around, and throws him on a very big tall tree. And this tall tree falls down. That tall tree falls on another tall tree. That also falls down. So one by one, all the tall trees are falling down. And it's a panoramic scene. So Shukdev Goswami mentioned it's a panoramic scene. To see one by one, all the tall trees are falling down. Just because of the load of one Dhenukasura. And what happens? As soon as the tall trees are falling and Dhenukasura is dead, what happens? All the coward boyfriends of Krishna start clapping. So, this is what happened when Lord Balaram killed Dhenukasura. Now what happened is, one more thing. Because Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, they were talking. Parikshit Maharaj was hearing Shukdev Goswami speaking. Now there was a time limit, 7 days and 7 nights. So many of the pastimes are not much detailed, mentioned. Some pastimes are in detail, some pastimes are not in detail. It is part of Bhagavatam is unlimited. Someone may say unlimited. ये 12 canto करते करते time जाता है इतना. Yes, 12 canto is nothing. Someone told me that in demigods planets, Bhagavatam is much more bigger. Just imagine. So better not be demigod. It's good to be a human being and read 12 cantos and go back to bed. Go to a heavenly planet, then you will chant more rounds or read more Bhagavatam, attend bigger classes and get less prasad. So anyways, the point is that how it was not possible to discuss everything in detail. So therefore some acharyas, they discuss some pastimes in details in their own commentary. So it is mentioned in the Garga Samhita, detailed fight which happened between Dhenukasur and Krishna Balaram. So now we'll enter into Garga Samhita and see more detail in this fight. So in this fight which we saw in Bhagavatam, second time Dhenukasur came, Balaramji killed him. But in the first and second time, something more happened. So what happened is when Dhenukasur came for second time, Balaramji, he whirled him around and threw him 8 miles away. 8 miles away. Why? Because you're thinking if he throws very far away, this fellow will take time to come, by the time we can have more party here. So 8 miles away he fell down, he became unconscious, Dhenuka, and then he woke up and he shattered. How can a small boy throw me so far away? He became very angry. And then he increased his size, big ghastly form, huge form, touching the clouds. He had 4 horns by this time in this hideous form. And then he marched again at Talwan. So when he was coming from very far distance, some of the cowherd boys saw and they became afraid and they ran behind the trees and they were hiding. However, Krishna and Balaram were fearful, not all fearful. In fact, not just Krishna and Balaram, some of Krishna and Balaram's friends, they are also not fearful. You know why? Because Sridhama and other people are thinking, Balaram ji ne usko utha ke phega. Balaram ji ko to main harata hu. To main hi utha ke phek sakta hu. So they were ready. So as soon as he came, what happened? Sridhama, Krishna's friend, he took a stick and went and hit him. And then he told him, you rascal ass, you rascal donkey. And he ran away from that place. Now Dhenukasur was completely bewildered. He was thinking of attacking Balaram and someone is coming and putting a stick on his head, As soon as just he was recovering from the stick, that hit, Subal came. Subal came and gave him a punch. And gave him, you rascal donkey. And he also ran away. That got over. Stoka Krishna came. And Stoka Krishna had a rope. And like a hunter, rope. He just hit Dhenukasur with that rope and he told him, you rascal donkey. And he ran away. Now Dhenukasur was completely bewildered. Vishal and Rishabh, Krishna's friends, they came and they kicked Dhenukasur from behind and they ran away. And they said, you rascal donkey. Then Devaprastha came. And Devaprastha came and he just laughed Dhenukasur and said, you rascal donkey, and ran away. Then Varuthap came and he had one Tadgola fruit. Like a ball, he came and just gave him one hit and he said, you rascal donkey, and he ran away. Now what happened is, Dhenukasur was completely bewildered. What's happening? Everyone is having a fun on him. At this time, Krishna thought, let me also do something. So Krishna went, picked up Dhenukasur and threw him away. And Dhenukasur went and landed on Govardhan. And there he was unconscious for 1 hour. Then he woke up and he became more frustrated. And then he came and attacked Krishna. When he attacked Krishna, he picked up Krishna and took Krishna in the sky. So they went in sky high, thousands of miles in the sky, and there was a fight between Krishna and Dhenukasur in the sky. But Krishna was thinking, what I am doing with him? Balaram is supposed to kill him. So Krishna punched him and he fell down from the sky onto the ground. So when he fell down directly onto the ground, what happened? He cannot be killed. So Krishna did not allow him to die. He fell down, his 1 or 2 bones got broken, fractured. Then he again got up and was looking here and there. Then he saw Govardhan. He picked up Govardhan with his horns and threw it on Krishna. Krishna caught Govardhan, threw it on Dhenukasur. Dhenukasur caught on his horn, threw it back to Krishna. So there was a catch-catch game going on. Then Krishna was thinking, Govardhan is not supposed to be for catch, you know. It's a very holy place. So Krishna kept the Govardhan back. So Dhenukasura became very angry now. It was like almost like a day and night match happening because for many hours he was unconscious. So now what happened is somehow or other Dhenukasura again now his attention was on Balramji. And why? Because he has to die. Vinasha Kale Viprita Buddhi. So he went to Balramji. And Balramji dekha, Balramji aa gaya chalo. And Balramji lifted him and he smashed him on the ground. As soon as he smashed him on the ground, his head cracked. And blood started falling from the head. Then Balramji gave him one punch. And by the one punch, he was silent. Almost gone. Thoda bacha tha bas. Then finally Balramji caught hold of his hind legs and started whirling him around. So it is mentioned, because Lord Balramji was whirling him so fast, the centrifugal force which happened, because of which the soul of Dhenukasura came out of the body. Centrifugal force. And finally, Dhenukasura was dead. And Balramji threw the body of Dhenukasura on the top of a tal tree, and then the whole thing, a panoramic scene which we see from Bhagavatam. So when all this happened, what happened? The demigods, they showered flowers, Pushya Abhishek on Krishna and Balaram. And all the cowherd friends, they did what? They clapped. Clap. And they all said, Balramji ki jai. Then what happened? Dhenuka was not alone. He had his friends, his gang, D gang, Dhenuka gang. So one by one started coming. So Krishna Balaram said, Ek aapka, ek mera. One by one. So the first guy came, Krishna took him by hind legs and threw him on another tal tree. Second came, Balaramji picked up, threw him on another tal tree. And one by one, all these fellows were coming and Krishna and Balaram picking them effortlessly and throwing them on tall tree. And on the tall tree, there were like, and these donkeys were of different colors. You know, some was blue, some was red, some was yellow, fluorescent, whatever, different colors. So all these tall trees were decorated with it's like clouds, you know. They're like clouds on a tall tree. And the whole Talvan was decorated with these clouds. And in this way, Krishna and Balaram together defeated Krishna and Dhenukasura and his associates. So there's a very nice scene which happened there. And because of this, the whole forest of Dhenukasura, Talvan was liberated. And now devotees could go to the Talvan forest and then they could eat fruits. And they enjoyed these fruits like anything. So it is mentioned, now we are talking about Dhenukasura representing some obstacle in our life, anartha. So what is Dhenukasura representing? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Dhenukasura represents lust, Kam vasna. There are two types of Kam vasna, lust. One is gross, another is subtle, sthul or sukshma. Gross is the actual gross attachment to opposite sex. In this material world, attachment to sex is lust. It can be opposite, or nowadays it is same sex also, or all different types of sex. That's called lust. That is higher form of lust. Too much lusty. People cannot register their intelligence, what they are doing. So lust means gross and subtle. So gross means attachment to sex life, and subtle means, more subtle means like, you may not attach to outside thing, attachment to man, woman, whatever it may be, but attachment to profit, fame and adoration. Puja, labh, pratishta. That means someone may be a very controlled person. मैं काम से दूर रहता हूँ, लेकिन काम से दूर रहने का जो प्रतिष्ठा है वो मुझे चाहिए कि व्यक्ति काम से दूर रहता है, कितना महान व्यक्ति है. That's called pratishtha, fame. Like there was one Baba, so he was in a cave. So he would for years together he lived in a cave. So some villagers came near the cave and they were discussing and talking, and while talking they were discussing some spiritual topic, and they came and they were asking, iska prashna ka uttar kya hai? And no one knew the answer. The Baba heard from inside. He came out and answered his question. Baba, आप अंदर क्या कर रहे हैं? वो इधर अंदर ही रहता हूँ मैं. अच्छा बाबा, आप इतने महान हैं, आपका दर्शन करना चाहिए हमको. एक दिन तो बाहर आइए आप साल में. ठीक है, आज कौन सा दिन है? अगले साल आऊँगा अभी मैं. So next year what happened, you know? The entire villagers came because they had told, you know, Baba comes only once in a year outside. So next year on the same day, big mela outside the cave. सब दर्शन करने बाबा का. 2-3 साल से चला. 4th year what happened, Baba came out, there was no one outside. बाबा बोले क्या हो गया, टाइम तो है ही नहीं कुछ देखने के लिए, आज आए क्यों नहीं लोग, why people have not come today? She thought maybe wrong time, wrong date I have come, but I should. Then they were thinking, then he was thinking maybe they are coming. So he was climbing on a tree. He climbed on a tree and checking, you know, आ रहा है कि दूर से कोई. And then he remembered, I am Baba inside the cave, nothing to do with the world, but I am attached. People respecting me. 3 years they respected me. 4th year I was expecting that respect, and now they are not come. I am frustrated. This is called puja, labha and pratishtha. Profit, fame and adoration. So Dhenukasur, he represents lust. So how Dhenukasur was killed? Who killed him? Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram killed Dhenukasur. So who is Balaram? Balaram ji is the origin of Guru. Guru Tattva. So therefore it is mentioned that this anartha of lust can be gone only when we seriously take shelter of the instructions of Guru. Through the medium of Balaram, Krishna killed Dhenukasur. Similarly, through the medium of Guru, our spiritual masters, we can defeat this formidable enemy of lust. Lust is very difficult to overcome. But Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chittete Koriyayakya, by executing the order of Guru, one can give up lust. Like someone asked Prabhupada, this Mr. Lust is troubling me a lot. One devotee asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, don't worry, just chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada, I am chanting Hare Krishna, but still Mr. Lust is troubling me a lot. Then Prabhupada said, you just follow what I say. And just by following whatever I say, I will come and kick Mr. Lust away from your heart. Prabhupada said like that. So that is the point, that by spiritual master's mercy, this difficult demon of lust can be overcome. All we have to do is very diligently follow spiritual master's order. Our spiritual master should be happy with our progress. One time one devotee went and told one senior devotee, Prabhuji, मैंने सुना था, I have heard that when you first saw your guru, you were crying. आपने आपके गुरु को पहली बार देखा तो आप रोने लग गए. सही है प्रभुजी? प्रभु सर हाँ सही है, लेकिन ये भी सही है कि अभी मेरे गुरु मुझे देखते हैं और रोते हो. ये व्यक्ति वैसा के वैसा ही है, चेंज नहीं हुआ है. So the guru is crying now that this fellow has not changed a lot, changed anything, you know. So that should not happen. Our spiritual master should be happy with our progress. So that is the whole idea of progressing in Krishna consciousness. We should always go ahead. We should not be thinking, अच्छा है, शांति है, यहीं रहेंगे. No, we should keep moving. And to keep moving means keep pushing. Is it not? Ours is pushing movement. We keep pushing each other. Therefore, an association of devotees, when you come, devotees push you, not externally, but internally. Because you will be a challenge. Because when you see a devotee, he is chanting or he is reading, you think, Hare Bapre. If you are alone, you think, Hare, मैं अच्छा कर रहा हूँ. So अच्छा है मेरा. 16 माला हो रहा है, 4 नियम हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. When you come in front of a devotee, you see his barometer. वो भी कर रहा है अच्छा, लेकिन उसका स्टैंडर्ड कितना ऊपर है देख. Then we feel, अरे हमें भी करना चाहिए. So it's called pushing. So when devotees come together, they are pushing each other. And pushing will move ahead in Krishna consciousness. That's very nice. When you come association of devotees, we see devotees who came after us, they went ahead of us. And thinking, अरे मैं पीछे रह गया. So therefore we need. So Vaishnava association is like a mirror. When you come in front of mirror, then you understand what is our feature. हम कहाँ पर है. So therefore we need mirrors. So that is called devotee association. So when we come in devotee association, we progress, we keep pushing each other. And then we go ahead in Krishna consciousness, executing the order of spiritual master. Therefore we find Srila Prabhupada, he made beautiful temples all over the world. When he came to Vrindavan, he made Krishna Balaram temple. Why he called the temple Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan? 3 reasons. One is the location. The temple was located in a place called as Raman Reti. So Raman Reti means a place, Raman means pleasurable, Reti means sand. Pleasurable sand means The cowherd friends of Krishna and Balaram, they would all come there and they would play in that reti and they would find pleasure. So Prabhupada said, because it is Raman Reti, the main deities has to be Krishna Balaram. Of course, there is Radha Shyam Sundar Gaur Nilaya also, but the main altar should be Krishna Balaram. Also, Prabhupada said that in whole Vrindavan there are so many temples, Radha Krishna temples and this temple, that temple, but our temple is unique, Krishna Balaram temple. Krishna Balaram temple is not there anywhere. So our temple will stand unique, Krishna Balaram temple will be there. And then Prabhupada said, Balaram ji is very important for us in our life. Prabhupada said to one devotee, when the devotee came with some difficulty, Prabhupada said, if you have any difficulty, go to the altar. Balaram is standing there. Tell him your difficulty. He will solve all your difficulty because he has that power. So Balaram ji is Guru Tattva. Balaram ji carries a plow, hull. What hull is used for? Plowing the field. So why should Balaram ji have a plow? And how that plow is significant in our life? Our heart is like a barren field. So Balaram ji comes, Guru comes and plows that field. उसके बाद क्या होता है? एक बार plowing होता है तो then the land is now fertile and then you put the seed. So Guru comes and he first makes the barren field into a fertile field and then he puts Bhakti Lata Beej. Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Beej. So he puts Bhakti Lata Beej and the beej grows. So the heart has to be fertile. Balaram ji. Someone sent me a message, you are mentioning. जिसके जीवन में कुछ हल नहीं है उसे बलराम जी के पास जाना चाहिए क्योंकि बलराम जी के पास हल है सब चीज़ों के लिए हल है So Balaram ji is having that plow and he beautifully plows the field through the medium of Guru and Gauranga. So there are many things to discuss. We'll discuss a small thing before we end our talk. We were talking the other day in our Balaram Jayanti class in devotees, you were talking about Balaram ji's main service is to serve. Very important. So Balaram ji serves in all 5 rasas. Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras and Madhuryaras. He serves Krishna. That's his service. Therefore Krishna is called Supreme Personality of Godhead. Balaram ji is called as Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. This is unique. Only in ISKCON you'll find this. Sevak Bhagwan. सेव्य भगवान और सेवक भगवान. एक भगवान है जिसकी सेवा करनी है और दूसरे भगवान है दो भगवान की सेवा कर रहे हैं, दिखा रहे हैं हमको ये सेवा करना चाहिए. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. सो बलराम जी इज ऑलवेज रेडी टू सर्व कृष्णा. सो इफ यू वांट टू डू हाउ टू डू सर्विस, हु इज गोइंग टू टीच अस? कृष्णा इज गोइंग टू टीच अस. सो कृष्णा कम्स एज बलराम टू टीच अस हाउ टू सर्व. In Kali Yuga, Krishna has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us how to be devotee. So we are so dullard that Krishna has to himself come and teach everything. अगर आपको किसने बताया कि मैं खाना बनाना सिखाने वाला आपको और आप सीख नहीं रहे तो ठीक है बैठ जाए तो खाना तो खा ले, वो भी आता नहीं खाने को तो वही सिखाना पड़ेगा. That means really gone case. So Kali Yuga is gone case where not just service opportunity is given to us but even have to be shown us how to do service. That is the problem. So Balaram ji shows us how to enthusiastically serve Krishna. So therefore he is serving in all rasas. There is not a single ras where he is not serving. What are different rasas? Shantaras, Vatsalyaras, Amkaras, Ganekaras. We only know those Amkaras, Ganekaras, Narang, Santrakaras. These are the main rasas. All these rasas are in material world. Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. So we can have our relationship with Krishna in any of the 5 rasas. Balaram ji is in every rasa showing us how to serve Krishna. So we are discussing about Krishna and Balaram as good friends. Okay. So Krishna and Balaram, they are very good friends. But their center is what? Service. Krishna was serving Balaram ji and Balaram ji was serving Krishna. So they are good friends and one friend is thinking, he is my friend but he is very nice devotee. He is my Prabhu, I will serve him. And the other devotee is thinking that he is a nice devotee. He is my Prabhu, I will serve him. Not that friendship means, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. As long as we scratch each other's back, we are good friends. Material world, friendship is like that. तू मेरे काम का, मैं तेरे काम का, नहीं तो हम दोनों नाम क्या है, we're just for name's sake. But this friendship is like very intense service, very important, to serve each other. That is important. Like one time, Giriraj Maharaj was mentioning in his talk about this friendship based on seva. He was mentioning this point that in Bengal, one time in a village, one sadhu entered in that village. So as soon as he entered into that village, what happened is, all the villagers were so happy to see someone, a saintly person entering into their village. They all came running and they welcomed the sadhu. And one of them was saying, Sadhu Maharaj, hamare ghar pe aiye. Sadhu Maharaj, hamare ghar pe. Everyone is giving invitation. And Sadhu Maharaj was shocked. What is this? He's just walking from one village to another. This village, so much of invitation. And some villagers were jumping and touching his lotus feet. You know, think, what happening? You know, just imagine everyone jumping around, you know, touching your feet. She was quite embarrassed. And someone saying, Maharaj, यहाँ पर आइए, आपका पैर धोना है. And he was saying, अरे मैं छोटा आदमी हूँ, छोड़ दो मुझे. I'm a small person. I'm not a big person. I'm a simple sadhu. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. No, Prabhu, you are a very great sadhu. We are grahasthas, you know. We are into so many things, activities. But you are sadhu. So we have to serve you. But I am not deserving your service, the sadhu was mentioning. So then Prabhupada mentioned Giriraj Maharaj, this is the attitude. He mentioned that the sadhu is thinking, I am not a good sadhu. Why they are serving me? He is humble. And the devotees, the grahasthas who are in the village, they are thinking that he is a sadhu. We are so fallen. And they are humble. And Prabhupada said, because both are humble, both are advancing in devotional service. So not that one person should think, seva karo bhai mera. Not like that. If someone is taking service also, he should think that I don't deserve that service. Why they are serving me? And someone who is serving, he should not think, kitna seva lega bhai? Not like that. He should also keep on serving. That service factor is very important. So Balramji is the epitome of seva, service. So Krishna decided he will not kill Dhenukasur. Balram said, I will do it. Don't worry. I will open my account. That's called seva. Balram did not tell Krishna, अरे क्या हो गया? आप नहीं मार रहे इसलिए मुझे मारने बोल रहे? Not like that. Wherever you cannot do Krishna, I am always there to help you. I am always there to serve you. That's Balramji's mood of seva. So when it comes to service, we learn from Balramji so many things. You know? Balramji is also called as Shesha. Shesha in Hindi also means Shesh. कुछ बचा नहीं, है कि नहीं? What is Shesha? इतना सेवा करते बलराम जी कृष्ण के कि कुछ शेष बचता ही नहीं उनके पास समय. He has no time for himself. He just serving. So he is serving. More new service comes, he expands, serves. More new service comes, he expands, serves. He keeps on serving. Like Ananta Shesh, when he appeared in this material world, he came through as a son of Kashyapa and Kadru. Kadru Devi's first son was Ananta Shesha, and then Kaliya and all their different snakes came. Snake species came from Kadru. So Ananta Shesh came and he went to Lord Narayan and said, what is my service in this earth planet, in this material world? What should I do? He said, you do one thing, you go and carry the universe on your head. Ananta Shesh said, very difficult service, but I'll do it. Yes, you do this for me. And then he said, but how long? Sometimes when you get service, you ask this question, no? कब तक करना पड़ेगा? Of course, Balram ji was not asking कब तक करना पड़ेगा, but he was asking how long. He said, no, nothing much. You just start speaking about my glories, he told Ananta Shesh. When you complete, you can keep it down. So Ananta Shesh started speaking glories of Krishna, Lord Vishnu. Now, glories of Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna are not 1 hour, 2 hour, they are unlimited because Krishna keeps expanding. So even today also he has not finished. He is speaking. And therefore, and he is not speaking very fast, he is speaking very coolly because he doesn't want to give up the service. But he is speaking, and therefore it is mentioned he is the original Bhagavad Kathakar. All Bhagavad Kathakar after 7 days they will be tired. But this Bhagavad Kathakar is going for a long time and he is not tired. And he is not waiting for an audience also. He is speaking. Do you know who is sitting in front of him? Sometimes no one. But sometimes the 4 Kumaras come and sit in front of him and hear from him. He is not worried of any audience. He is not worried about time. Lunch time हुआ क्या अभी 2:50 हो गया कब खत्म होने वाला है He's not worried. He is not worried, and audience should also not worry. But the point I'm saying, Balaram is original Kathakar, he is serving. His mood is to serve. I was listening to a lecture of Govind Prabhu's Balaram Jayanti class, and he was mentioning a very nice point. That one time they had gone to one devotee's house, and very nice devotee couple, husband, wife. Very nice, wonderful way of serving each other in Grahastha ashram. Very exemplary, nice. So they went and they took very nice care of the devotees from temple, made them eat prasadam and all that. So while leaving, they were, both husband and wife came and said, please bless us with more service. So Brahmachari, some of them very senior devotees said, yes, we bless that 7 lifetimes you remain a husband, wife and keep serving. So what happened? This couple, when they heard, they were shocked. 7 life. 7 life, they had to come again and be husband and wife, same. So then our Brahmacharis realized, oh, maybe the benedict blessings was not very, blessing was too high for them, But he was mentioning that exemplary couple who are serving and they're asking for service, and when reward is given, aghast. Which means हम सेवा मांगते हैं, लेकिन जब सेवा आता है डर जाते हैं हम, है कि नहीं? We are always asking सेवा चाहिए, और सेवा जब आ जाता है तो मुझे क्या, और कोई नहीं हाथ में क्या? We always there to share our service, or sometimes our service comes and say how long you have to do service, and और कोई मिला नहीं क्या, मुझे ही करना है क्या? So many questions. So सेवा मांगना easy है, जब सेवा आ रहा है, we are not in the mood of seva taking. So Balram ji shows सेवा मांगो भी और सेवा करो भी, but we are always सेवा मांग रहे. एक बार once Gauram Prabhu was mentioning in his class, our devotees are chanting 16 rounds throughout the day, दिन रात कीर्तनी सदा हरि 16 माला सुबह शाम जप करते रहते हैं हम, और बाद में जप में क्या बोल रहे हैं भगवान से, भगवान मुझे अपनी सेवा में लगाइए. गौरम Prabhu was mentioning, भगवान सोच रहे तुम माला रखेगा तो सेवा दूंगा तुझे मैं. दिन रात माला कर रहा है, माला रखेगा सेवा करेगा, लेकिन रात को 11 बजे माला होता है, फिर सो जाता है, फिर अगले दिन ऑफिस पूरा दिन जपा करता है. So the point is you're always asking service. When time comes to serve, then immediately we put our head behind the front person, not me, someone else, like that. But Balaram shows that when seva comes, he is happy and he expands and wants to do more. And that is the mood of service which we learn from Lord Balaram. So with that, we end our class, and there is no time for question and answers. If there is some announcement, someone can make, otherwise we can have Kirtan. Thank you so much. Shri Krishna Balaram.